Yeah, okay. So tomorrow is Thursday. I'm not going to be streaming then. Friday, I might be able to stream in the morning, but it's hard to tell. Saturday, no stream. And Sunday, no stream. Monday, no stream either because I'm traveling back home. So Tuesday, so basically today, maybe Friday, and then Tuesday is the next kind of stream time. Flint Rusty, hello. So that's what we're doing here. So today I wanted to start taking a look into SeaORM. So we had a little bit of a discussion, and after sort of like the troubles that we had with Diesel, sort of like getting that set up, we haven't even gotten it fully going yet. And there's just like, even though it is 2.0, even though it's had a lot of work on it and it still has a lot of work on it, I think I agree that it's not as easy, like beginner friendly, and I really want to keep this more beginner friendly for the course. Okay, how do I deal with a micromanaging manager? Oh, this is a good one. So to deal with a micromanaging manager, you first need to get a good relationship with them. So, and by good relationship, I mean the ability to be vulnerable to them and then the ability for them to open up to you. So if you don't have that yet, that's the first thing to start working on. Because you want to be able to give them feedback and do something called managing up. So which is like the long name for that is managing your manager. And to do that, you need them to be able to like be vulnerable to you and admit that they, admit when they make mistakes or anything else. That requires trust on both sides. So build that up first. You can build that up by just straight up talking to them about anything, just like building a relationship, getting to know each other. You can be like a little bit vulnerable for like really tiny things that don't really matter, and then see if they open up in the same way back to you. But you mean you mildly hate him? That you know what the great part about this is that this is a skill that doesn't require you to like the person. You can just hate their guts, but it doesn't really change the fact that you can still be you. It's all like this is politics. Like what I'm talking about here, this is how politics works, which is you want to get something done, you want to get it. It doesn't mean like you. It doesn't mean you can only work well with people you like. It just it's like it's a side effect. Like it's one of the things that I think a lot of people don't really realize that like you can have a working relationship with somebody that you despise on a personal level, but you're professionals, right? So just like check that part at the door, put on your professional hat, and then treat them with professional courtesy. And you don't have to be vulnerable in like all aspects of your life. You have to be vulnerable in a professional sense. So that would be things like, hey, I couldn't figure out how to like get my computer working properly the first time, or I forgot to like charge my computer, so it's like not charged, or little tiny things like that. See if they reciprocate. If they don't, again, just more personal conversations, getting to know each other, which doesn't necessarily mean like super personal data. It is just about you and then about them. Um, Sounds like kissing ass. Kissing ass means you're doing exactly what they say, and you're being a yes person. And this is not that. This is not being a yes person. What this is basically trying to get them to like you enough that you could then say, hey, I have some feedback. I've noticed that when you tell me how, like, what to do for my job, it really removes the motivation that I have to excel at work. And that just makes it really hard for me to show up. And you could use all the language then of like, and be present and bring my whole self, or whatever other words that they use to like, they're trying to like get you to all be there. And then it's like, what I would like for you to say is to give me problems. So if you tell me what the problem is, hey, we have this issue, can you solve it? Don't tell me how to do it. if I need help, I promise I will ask you. And then you can sort of go and do that. If you get that feedback back to your manager, once you have a relationship built up and you know that they're not going to explode at you and go like, "Wah," then see, that's not kissing ass at all. That's just giving feedback at that point in time. Does that help? Or does that answer the question? While looking at my stream, I am at least 30 seconds behind. Also, it's pausing. How is this? Oh, not great. I've dropped 24% of my frames. Okay, so hold on. I'm going to, I don't have a secret. Let me give a secret really quickly. It's good enough for that. I want to reduce my video bitrate even more. Yeah, it's lagging pretty bad. 2000. I could do. I think we tested 1500 is like the lowest before things aren't great. I can go to 96 in audio. Okay, let's try that. I'm not recording. Okay. Back to you. All right, so I'm back in the green again. So let's see about this. Stacking, hello. The funny part is the audio stayed fine during that talk, though. I've noticed that a lot with Twitch, which I think is actually great. Is that audio often seems to work just fine during extreme laggy parts. Thought this was meant to be a stop motion stream. Yes, I'm going to be reducing it down to 3 frames per second. That's like that's what the new big streamers are doing, right? All right, so I'm still noticing some lag and jerkiness. Now I am farther away from the other thing because I want to be able to chat here, and I don't want to necessarily have to whisper the entire time because it is, as you can see, 6 a.m. and my parents do not wake up that early, so I don't want to wake them up by me shouting at a computer all morning. So maybe on Friday I'll try a different room, and if I can stream, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, but yes, I think I mentioned before also that this is a test of Starlink. So they finally got Starlink internet. It is infinitely better than the HughesNet satellite internet that they had before, to the point where they just ripped all that out permanently and installed the Starlink satellite on the top of the roof, and it's surprisingly good. Even though they don't have a full clear view of the northern sky, it just works. So far they're extremely happy with it, and I'm trying to see if, like, hey, can I visit my parents more often than like once every 3 years? So, all right, let's see. I wanted to look at this one. Yes, it's me. We are looking at, right, we are in learning Axum. Oh, you won't even show me this stuff until what, you can't find this? Remove folder. Remove folder. Code, Brooks builds. This is the full stack backend. Sure, the learning Axum one. Let's actually go up one, and we'll just open this to Rust? No, learning Axum. There we go. Okay. I'm not in restricted mode. I told you that I trust this workspace. Okay, whatever. Does Starlink have any data plans or is it unlimited? As far as I can tell, it's unlimited. So I can use all the data that they want and they just keep on serving it up. So that's actually the biggest reason why it's like life changing to so many people who are getting it is it's going from like HughesNet was something like, okay, you get 120 gigabytes per month and then we drop you down. Then you can like buy an extra 120 gigabytes at like something ridiculous, like $60 for like, I don't know, 10 gigabytes or something like that, or like $100 for another 120 gigabytes. And then after that, we're just going to drop you to dial-up speed, and that's it. Like nothing you can do. And like they would have morning and nighttime speeds. So like if you or like the zones for like data caps. So like my parents, whenever they were like, okay, we need to update our devices or we need to download some like big thing, we'd be like, okay, well I set an alarm to wake up at 2 a.m. so I can go start a download, and then I'll set another alarm at 6 a.m. to stop the download, so that way it doesn't take up all of the data for like normal usage, which is just an utter nightmare to work with. And now they can just, oh, okay, I want to download something and deal with it. Let's just do it. Yeah, so far the unlimited data is like the biggest part of this. Okay, let's see. So I have learning Axum here. I want to open up you. Now I haven't, one thing that I would like to do, if I'm only going to have like a single computer streaming for something like this, they live that far in the mountains. That's the thing, is that Comcast has internet to our neighbors. Now, our neighbors are like half a mile up that direction, but they have lines with that. So there's no reason that they couldn't just extend down. And my parents have done everything they can to try to convince them to let them like just, hey, can we pay for it if you like put wires down and like just serve us internet? And they're like, nope, we don't even want to consider that as an option. So it's just like, oh, right on the outside edge of it. And there's none of the services. And they even tried, they're in the mountains, which means lots of trees and then mountains, and they're pointing in the wrong direction. So they're on the wrong side of the mountain. They can't even get the point-to-point internet. Because I remember reading, I did a lot of reading about this. There's no point-to-point, there's no general, like the general wide area Wi-Fi, none of those work here. Like they brought them all up. People came up and here's like, nope, we're refused to sell to you. It's gonna not work. Okay, well this is cool. Okay. Let's open up a normal terminal then. CD, CodeBricks builds, full stack Rust course, backend Rust. All right, so what I want to do is play around with SeaORM as opposed to Diesel, because I think as you mentioned stacking, that's not it's not that it's not great. It's that the onboarding experience, there's too many foot guns so far, and like that one thing with Homebrew, especially like so many developers have Macs. That's so easy to just like install with Brew and then bam, just like close the window, just like I did, not see the message like, hey, just do this one thing and then you're fine, and then oh no, you're not fine. Okay, so me bigger. Let's I'm on playing with Axum. I wonder if I want to just take out Okay, so clean working directory. What do I have in here? So we have a diesel toml. I wonder if I can just set up. I wonder if I can also just set up things. Do I have git log? I have this setting up diesel here with that commit, with this commit hash, creating a jot. That was not without. Okay, so this is setting up diesel, right? So this one maybe doesn't have any diesel stuff in it. Oh, I'm getting some hard drops now. Okay, down to 20%. So I'm doing good there. Kilobits per second is, that's like above what I said. And it's clearly not CPU. CPU is like not being touched. Although when I try to compile something, we're going to see what happens there. Could have been your Comcast that time. Internet providers. Ugh. It's like, why is this so hard? Okay, so I want you, and I'm going to do a git switch to you. Oh, interesting. Okay, so switches for branches. So git checkout to you. Okay, so now I'm back here like this. Let's see what the state of everything is. Right, I have no diesel stuff in here. And I believe if I run this, so all right, here's our next test. If I now let's do a git switch -c, and this is going to be SeaORM. Is it SeaORM or is it SeaORM? I don't remember. Let's create you here, and I think all I want to do is just run this. So cargo watch x run. Really? Oh, yeah. Okay, I want to do a cargo watch run. All right, let's take a look at this. Well, okay, that was not much of a compile time, so it didn't really hit. Pretty sure it's SeaORM since they go heavy with the C theme. Well, I've seen them being heavy with the C theme, but I don't know whether or not like their short name is like SORM, which they probably don't want people to say the word SORM. So I could totally understand that too. SeaORM is like kind of fun to read, but it's like surprisingly not that easy to say. All right. I've noticed that my stream is caught up a little bit. It's not quite as delayed anymore, at least on my iPad. Okay, so we've got this here. Let's go find Firefox. Let's add in SeaORM Rust. I love that domain that they got. C, cool, nice, love it. All right, let's just click getting started. Okay, so 0.9 versions to. Okay, 0.10 is under construction, so we're on 0.9. What is RAM? Async programming concepts, tutorial and examples. This is the part where I'm not going to do it right because I am just going to skip all of their stuff to like just get me started. Actix, Axum example. But do they have a special little CLI to install and everything else? installation configuration. Chantilly, hello. How about SeaORM? I think that's what I'm supposed to say instead of like, well, but like it's catching me. Like maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just like I have to like consciously think about it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna get it wrong. Also, hello. You need to really read the tutorials since they do migrations as a different project and use cargo workspaces. Oh, interesting. So it's actually a full ORM. See, that's what I'm getting here. Now they're using async programming, but as long as they're using something that works with Tokyo, supports all three. Okay, so that's going to be good. And because we're in that sort of, that should work too. Concepts. Okay, so each table represents an entity for CRUD. The entity trait provides an API for you to inspect its properties. These attributes and their values are grouped in a Rust struct, a model, so you can manipulate them. However, model is for read operations only. To perform insert, update, or delete, you need to use active model, which attaches metadata on each attribute. Finally, there is no singleton. Global context in SeaORM. Application code is responsible for managing the ownership of the database connection. We do provide integration examples for our web frameworks, including okay. So they provide the examples, but not necessarily setting up. So tutorial. All right. If per step tutorials on how to use SeaORM, sure. Let's go take a look at the tutorial. Feature rich. We're going to use Postgres. All right. So using the SeaORM crate and its CLI tool, SeaORM CLI. Okay. So now this is good. Like I like it when they show the differences rather than only show the end result each time that they do something. I kind of want to do something similar to this when I if I make like written out tutorials. And I noticed they're using the book. Okay, building backend, we'll build a backend application. Okay, so we already have a backend application and we need to integrate in. Choosing the database. Well, we got Postgres. The appropriate database driver feature should be enabled. Oh, you never used this website. Okay, so you just stayed on the main guide, which I think was back here. So installation, so database, and async runtime. Okay, so you're not suggesting they go through the full tutorial. Just stay with the documentation long enough to actually get it working. All right, so add SeaORM to the dependencies section of your cargo toml. Okay, so let's add that. Now it's going to suggest features is going to be these. So let's first start and still can't add you. Fine. I will add you the old-fashioned way using one of these terminals. All right, so we're going to do a cargo add you. And I want to pull this up and sort of see what happens. CPU's not being hit that hard. Well, it's fetching right now, so that's not going to be a CPU intensive thing. When I build it, it's going to be intense. Okay, and then we want features. So they suggested a database driver. So in this case, Probably that's the only Postgres one that I see. Okay. So we'll add that in. And then an async runtime. So we have runtime, Actix, standard. So my guess is Tokyo. So let's add in runtime Tokyo. That should be good, right? Oh, and then macros. It wants macros too. Which macros is already added. Okay, so I don't need to worry about that. Okay, so we must choose a database driver and an async runtime. So you chose that as database driver. Async runtime. Runtime. You can choose one from Actix native TLS, async native, Tokyo native TLS, Actix REST LS, runtime async, runtime Tokyo REST LS. Interesting. Okay, so async runtime Tokyo. So do I need to pull in one of views like runtime Tokyo REST LS probably? Banzi, hello. Runtime Tokyo REST LS is not what I added in. Let's grab that. Add that in there too. If I open up the shades, like just through them, because like the shades that are in this room to the window are not they're not like the full covering ones, so I can see through them slightly. Sunrise is starting to happen, which is very nice outside. Native to, okay, so we're gonna choose the Tokyo async runtime, extra features, debug print every SQL statement to the logger, and mock interface for unit testing. Debug print, I'm guessing is gonna be actually nice to have. So let's try it. Debug print. All right, next up. If you already have a database with tables and data, you can skip this section and move on to generating SeaORM entities. Okay, so which I do have all that stuff. Using SeaORM CLI. So first install SeaORM CLI with cargo. I love it when they have a little copy thing. You copied the entire thing. You're not supposed to copy everything. Like, don't copy the $sign. All right. All right. Here's our first stress test. Let's see how this works. This should hit this CPU pretty hard. Yeah, okay. I'm getting some blips here. Now, interesting. The CPU is staying at around 8.9%. So it's not hitting the CPU as hard as I would think. My kilobytes per second, the blips that are happening are not consistent, which, oh, that was pretty bad. That makes me think that this is still just satellite internet, or maybe the fact that I'm farther away from the router. But like so far, doesn't seem to be that bad. The M1 Max is a beast. That is very true. And I'm not doing this in Docker because like in Docker would be an entirely different beast altogether to compile because it then is like going through a VM. think it's the video encoder having a stroke with all the fast stroking tests. That actually is probably a good point. When we should do like a static image to like just let just have OBS/Twitch be like, okay, we're happy with this, everything is good. Okay, so we installed you onto this. Configure the environment. So we need a .env. So set the database URL in your environment, or create a .env in your project root. Specify your database connection. So I want something like this. And now I have this .env. I don't have any of my shortcut keys, so you're going to see me coming back here. I'm going to go to secret really quickly. I just want to double check again that this, yes, this .env is perfectly fine for me to look at. So we are going to open up you and add you in here. Now this is interesting. So it wants a connection string, but it's going to be SQL instead of Postgres. Okay, so have you keyorb cat localhost. Interesting that you don't care about the port, because you probably assume it's the same one, and then database is Postgres. We will take you away. Okay. Getting help. Use -h flag for help. It's good to know. Generating entity files. Discover all tables in a database and generate a corresponding SeaORM entity file for each table. Supported databases, yes, all the normal ones. SQLite. Now that is good to see SQLite getting some love. I am a big fan of SQLite, especially for like embedded applications. I kind of want to use it more. Like this is a website, so SQLite doesn't make much sense. But if I'm going to use this for like a, I don't know, what is that new technology that's like similar to like the VS Code thing? It's, I forget. It's like the one that lets you make cross-platform apps. Tori, that's it. SQLite is it going to be nice with like a project like that? Okay, so generates to supported databases, command line options. It's a lot of stuff here, but generally speaking, we're going to do SeaORM SeaLite generate entity. Now, I want you to use the .env, which you just had me set up, but now you're not using that. That's interesting. Okay, let's go back to here. I say SeaORM generate entity. Options, database URL, database URL. Options that they're having me do. So -u is that. -u, that's interesting. I guess that's short for the database URL. Yeah, it is. -o is output directory. Entity file output directory default where you're going, and you're suggesting you go to entity source. Interesting. Where are we? So we're in here, entity source. I kind of want to just throw it here just to sort of see what it would do. Now, if I just run you, SQL is not supported. did I not install one of the right things? Would it also be good if I started the database? I mean, it might help. Okay, so we have to do docker compose up. That's that. Let that go. Like I said, they keep migrations and entity and the main project as 3 different projects and use cargo workspaces. Interesting. So they sort of expect you to do cargo workspaces together, which is not a problem. But okay, so if I have you up and running, PSQL, now that I have this locally, let's see if that works. Also, grab. Okay, so this is working. I have a database set up and running. So let's try this again, make sure it's not like couldn't connect to the database. SQL is not supported. Okay, so I did this as generate entity. Did I do that command right? I did. CLI generate entity. Now, it's possible that I can't find this. We can also set our database URL properly. Okay, so let's try that. Let's do this again. We're going to do U is this. Okay. Let's also, just to make sure it's not something weird, if I do Postgres here. Okay, I was wondering whether or not this error was going to change. I think it was the Postgres scheme instead of SQL. Interesting. When I tried that, I'm feeling you messed something up on the feature flags. I mean, that's probably what I did. Let's see. So I can go back to cargo add. Let's just do this again. So I am missing, well, I have runtime. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I need SQLX here. Because like they have SQL, I brought in SQLX Postgres, but I probably need SQLX too. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, I might need to do that. So if I, well, even if I don't here, and not, I don't even need the .env setup. But if I just add in, okay, so now try you. That was it. That was it. Okay. So you were right, stacking. I did mess up something with the feature flags. I forgot to put in the dots, like the SQLX. I got SQLX Postgres and then forgot the other one. Now that's interesting because I need a features that you don't have. Interesting. All right, but okay, so we generated those. So that comes here. Oh, I now see why they put everything else. Look what they did. So out here, we now have a mod.rs, a prelude, a task, and a users. Well, this is horrible to put there. Huh. So your feature flags and it works. I wonder if there's something else going on here. Or if you have a library that I don't have globally. Wonder if that's it. Okay, so I don't like where this goes. You wanted the root in your directory, and you were actually suggesting to throw this into entity source. Oh, right, because you were going to suggest this as like a different project. Interesting. Okay. So I kind of want, I would need to put this inside of my source. So back to here. Let's do dash output to source db. Okay, so create all those. I'll delete those. And well, I could just delete them now. Okay, so next up. How do I like go and tell you I trust this workspace? I'm in a. Okay, I don't know. I'll have to figure this out later. Okay, so here we go. We have all these. And I can pull those in. I can definitely see what you mean by like they want this to be its own module as opposed to just in here. And I wonder if this is gonna come back and bite me in the butt. Let's look at a simple cake entity. It's a fruit cake. The derived entity model macro does all the heavy lifting of defining an entity with associating model, column, and primary key. The table name attribute specifies the corresponding table in the database. You can also specify the database schema or database name by schema name. All column names are assumed to be snake case. You can override the column name by specifying the column name attribute. Column type will be derived automatically with the following mapping. All right, so like these are all normal, sort of like expect. For the mappings of Rust non-primitive data types, you can check entity prelude for all the re-exported types. Right, okay, we saw that. You can override the default mappings between a Rust type and a column type by the column type attribute. Oh, so I can say like, hey, your string is supposed to text. Interesting. Oh, like if it was a number, maybe make it string. I don't know. If you need your JSON field to be deserialized into a struct, you would need to derive from JSON query result for it. All right, this stuff is not helpful to me. In documentation, like going through, like if this is a guide, I want to just do the thing first, and then we come back and like understand this and like look at it. Like theory first doesn't help. Just had a look where that non-supported error came from and is from the URL scheme being set to SQL, not Postgres. Interesting. So then I later went and set it to Postgres and then it worked. So I wonder if that, no, because it didn't work again from having Postgres. That was the suggested URL though. That's, Okay, like all this stuff is good. I'll come back to it later. I need to get to the part where like actually do stuff. Like this is too far in the future. Like what's the next step? Think you either called it with the uarg or didn't source the env. Well, the second time I used the .env and it was fine. The first time I also tried to do the same thing. I even tried to use the -u. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what happened there. We could try it again later and sort of play around with it. Random model, it's primary key. Okay, so here we can actually do stuff. So find by primary key. So I want to double check what I think we have tasks in our database. So if I do PSQL, probably should use the right password. So I want table tasks. Yeah, okay. So I have some tasks in here. I should be able to query them. Find a model by its primary key. It can be a single key or composite key. We start by calling find by ID on entity, which helps you construct the select query and condition automatically. Then fetch a single model from the database with the one method. So we're going to take in super cake entity as cake filling entity as cake filling. Okay. You know, I've never used the rename, the as in use statements. Okay, so this is going to be, let's create a new route in here. So in routes, we have users, but I don't really have any users. So let's do we'll do tasks. All right, I'm not getting any of my features. Okay, so we're gonna get, okay, so that's just gonna create that. So just like we have this pub async function like this, I'm gonna bring you over to tasks, do the same thing. Okay, so you're gonna be get all tasks. I don't know what I'm returning here yet. Okay, so find by primary key, find by composite keys. Interesting. So they don't have like a get all. I'm not gonna get autocomplete, am I? Because nothing is running. Okay, hold on. I need to fix this. All right. You close. Let's open you back up again. Okay. Do I trust? Trust workspace. Thank you. Now I get all my tools. Okay, so I want to pull in. Okay, so I want the entity out of that. So I want users. So let's go see if I can find it. So use super, well, let's actually just go to the crate. And then that's, oh, so in here we have DB. So I need to actually go to lib and pull in that. And inside there, okay. So create DB task entity. Now they're suggesting as what? As, okay, as cake, so as task. Then I should be able to use this. So find by primary key, so like let cheese option cake model equals cake find. Okay, so I want to do all tasks equals tasks. All right, so what do we do? We could do find by ID, find related. Can I do all? So if I do find, construct statement, construct select statement to find 1/all models. To select columns, join tables and group by expressions. Okay. Find, okay, dot all. So find dot all. It seems to have lost that. Entity is not an iterator. Okay, hold on. Like when I was here, I was getting auto completion stuff. So tasks. Now I get it again. Weird. So at this point, it knows what it is. So it's bringing in cake entity, which is what I'm doing. So entity as task find all, and then I have to pass in a reference to the DB, which is somewhere defined somewhere else. Okay, hold on. Where is the DB connection? Did I just miss that up in here? Generate entities. I did. Up here. How did I miss this? So I did this schema. Oh, I missed this because I clicked on this thing. I can skip this section and generate new entities, which brought me way down here. But really, I need to connect to the database. Okay, that would be helpful. Just a little bit helpful. Okay, so I need to pull this in and do this, let's say in here. So probably in run. Don't forget about state this time. Well, I mean, I don't have that much time, so I'm probably going to run out before I have a chance to even forget about state. Because we have to get this working first. Import SeaORM. Database. Import database. Connect. So you want to now connect into our config. So if we go to config, we want database URL. Database UI is a string. which means back to, I want to go to main. Database URI is a string. Database URI. Okay, so everything's happy here. Head to main. Database URI let equals. Okay, so we're going to use .env database URI. I think it's URL in here. The funny part in this docs, they use Postgres in the URI. Yeah, there's a little bit of inconsistency here. Okay, so we do that. Then we pass you in. Okay, so right. Yes. I know. You're coming in as, oh, found a stir. Well, we can actually, I would prefer to fix you in here then. You come in as a stir. And then database URI is database URI to owned. Okay, let's see. Got this. Now back to the main library. I want to pass this config. Can I actually create the database connection and put that into the config? Does that even make sense? I could do that. I could actually say, all right, database connection, then throw into the config. Now, when I do this, do I get an actual? Yeah, I get an actual database connection. That would have to be an async await, but that's fine. I'm in a huge async await thing. All right, so what if I do something like this? I could do, oh, no. Do I want to do that? How do I want to do this? Because we have the state, we also have the SIR, we also have the layers. Where was the state too? Was Axum state, Rust Axum state. There's a okay. I want something more of just here it is with state. Did you showed this to me exactly where it was too, and I forgot now. Also, sorry, I accidentally let my fingernails scratch on the trackpad, which is on the computer that has the microphones. That's probably a horrible sound. Where is that shared state? That one sounds good, but that's just a discussion on it. I want docs on using it. Sharing state with handlers. It is common to share some state between handlers, for example, to share a pool of database connections or clients to other services. The two most common ways of doing that are using request extensions, using closure captures. So I figured out just when the stream got to you. So like, sorry. Thanks. Using request extensions. The easiest way to extract state in handlers is using extensions as a layer and extractor. Okay, so this is layers. We're going to use layers for this. Right. Okay, so it's exactly the same thing that we're doing with config. So we're going to create the database connection here. Now, okay, so option protocol. So this is going to be a reference to config.database URI. We get the database. I am already passing the database layer. So this should be fine. So create router. I'm passing in the config, and then I also want to pass in the DB, which is this database connection, which means next up we go to create router and take in the DB, which is a database connection. Okay, now I want to do this layer thing. So dot layer extension. Now they have config, and I think I can just put in whatever I want. So right, the DB. All right, so no errors so far. So now I have that available to us. And if we go and take a look at not the hello world one, but our users, we should see getting the config out. Yeah, so we can grab this with just like extension. Oh yeah, this is gonna work out fine. So going to tasks. So in here, we're going to take in extension. You're going to get the database. And this is type. Okay, then it's extension database connection. Still no problems, but this is all runtime stuff, so we'll find out. Okay, so bring this back. So find. We're going to do find like that, dot all. Pass it in a reference to the DB. Then what? You don't know what you are anymore. Okay, so we pass a reference to the database, then we await, and that will give us back what we're expecting to get. You're taking the config, which you already have the database in. I don't have the database in there already. I have the database URI in there. So here, an example, the config, I just have the database URI, which is a string. I could put the full database in the config too. But I was sort of like imagining that like the config and the database itself are probably like nobody's going to expect them to be the same thing. Okay, so back to you. So I want, so that'll task equal you, then we await. Find. Okay. Import entity trait. There we go. We got you now. Okay, result vec model, db error, unused variable. Okay, I want to probably handle that. And then return it back. Oh, and can I actually see this find documentation now? Yeah. So here's this find all. We get you. It's a vec of this. And if I wanted to return it, result of vec of v of model. Okay, so if I want to, let's just do an unwrap. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, cool. Okay, so documentation for that. Okay, so that gives me a vec of model. So I want to return this as a vec model. Oh, is it a vec of a specific model? So in this case, TAS. Mismatch types, expected struct, task entity, and its task model. Okay, so no, it's not. Okay, so this is oh, okay, I get it. So if I did a fully qualified one, it's you as model. That's what I would be returning here. Okay, so get all tasks. So we're going to come back to our u dot route API v1 tasks get and then I want, what is this? This is tasks. Get all tasks. Just do that. You're unhappy. The trait bound is implemented required. Is not satisfied. The trait handler T-Rec body is implemented for layer required. There was something they mentioned about if I want to deserialize it. So going back to here, I probably don't want to return the model itself. I probably want to, oh no, I think they mentioned there's like another thing, right? Column, emitter, entity model. There was another type. There was another type that was mentioned, which was for, what is it called? Making it like a string, serializing. I need to serialize it. And where was that? Let's do a search. I need to, here, let's search for all. So I get, no, I want to use your stuff. Oh, this is interesting. So I can run stuff off of the DB instead of off of the model. That's interesting, but not exactly what I wanted. Okay, let's try serialize. There's a second thing in there. default none, and I can do with Serde to automatically derive Serde serialize, deserialize traits for the entity. I think I want to do this. So we're going to come back to here. Might as well just turn this off. This is what is it? Like the CLI thing. Was it in this terminal? Oh, it was in this terminal. Okay, output to you. Togglebit rating with a party of 93. Welcome, 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 Togglebit and Raiders. Raid and run. Caleb Dev, hello. This is a test stream. So thank you all for coming. We are, I guess, like, it's not really stress testing on my end because you're not actually hitting my computer. But I am at visiting my parents, and they have satellite internet. So I'm doing a test stream on satellite internet. Well, we tested raid notification, and that kind of worked. But yeah, so you'll notice that things are kind of go up and down a little bit. I notice, yeah, like I've turned my speed down to like 1500, and it's a little bit questionable right now. Hard to tell how much of this is due to me just being farther away from the router, and how much is due to the actual satellite internet. Last chain, you called it. We all switched to a Mac. I've been on a Mac for a while, so I don't know. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be counted as part of that. But let's see. Okay, so we're trying to set up a SeaORM for a backend framework for this. So we're gonna see how that works. I want to add in with Serde for this exact same thing. Wait, with Serde. Oh, I then need to tell it with Serde. I want none serialize, deserialize both. Let's do both. No. Oh, without. Okay, space there. Okay, so that works there. So now I have serialize and deserialize there. So I want to turn you back on. You're kind of working. The stream is very, very chunky. Hello, Danaka. Yes, I am not surprised. The string is having a little bit of trouble. This was slowly getting better over time, but at the very beginning of the stream, I had the kilobytes per too high, and we were dropping like 25% of the frames. So not good at all. I think I'm also not directly plugged into the router, and that might be a good thing to do. Everyone is waking up. Also, it's starting to get hot here because I'm in California, and California is apparently just a land of fire right now. So it was when I woke up, it's like by 8 a.m., it's supposed to be 80 something degrees Fahrenheit. And then it's going to be like 115 degrees throughout the day, which is not pleasant. Picture is good, but yeah, you're massively dropping flames, but randomly. Well, I'm probably going to have to leave here then pretty soon. I wanted to see if I can get this working, but apparently you're just not doing it. And if we come and take a look at, model? Why did I accidentally delete you? Let's see, mod. get all tasks. You're still upset. Trait bound. Acquired. Card and bound. So I need to figure out something else. I need to figure out how to do this thing. Wrap the output in a JSON type. Okay, let's try that. So tasks. Let's take JSON. Wrap you. Import JSON type. All tasks. I think, what is it? Like JSON. Is it just like that? Okay, you're okay so far. You're running and active. So if we open up Thunder Client, I want to go to tasks. And we're going to do a get. Hey, it worked. It worked. Okay, excellent. Last chain, hello. All right, so no, they're not in Colorado with me. I'm living in Colorado, which is the air quality is significantly worse than California, ironically, but California is just on fire. Or maybe it is fire. It's hard to tell. You heard me scream yay like 10. Oh man. Oh no, so the audio is like desynced from the video. That's even worse. I guess like for programming that's not too terribly bad, but that's the thing. All right, well, I think with the internet starting to go down, let me see. Is there somebody we want to try to raid? I won't be able to hang out because I need to go and like do family stuff. But follow live channels. Toggle is not on anymore. Otherwise, that would be hilarious to go raid them back again. I'm not necessarily seeing anybody that like I know and have raided before. If not, otherwise, we'll just end and I'll let you all choose who you want to go and to watch. But let's go ahead and while I'm waiting, while I'm letting that sync and like you all like give your suggestions if you have any, let's go ahead and commit this. So I'm gonna close all of these windows. Turn you off. Status. Okay, so cargo lock, toml, config lib, routes main. Okay, these are all fine. These are all fine to put in, I believe. So git, I added them, commit, got SeaORM working for a get, all tasks. And I'll go ahead and git push -u origin SeaORM. Oh, he wanted to come back streaming after eating in like 20 minutes. Oh yeah, no problem whatsoever. I do like Max. But I just caveat, I was a systems administrator at NASA for 8 years, and I was the senior Mac sysadmin. So I have a lot of like sort of experience with them, and therefore I don't have the same sort of negative feeling for Macs that a lot of other people have. Also, I know some of the secrets for like getting at and just configuring things that like are not easy to do. So it doesn't bother me quite as much. Okay, so I don't think I can stay on for the full 20 minutes that Togglebit is doing lunch. So if it's too bad I can't like stream a stream that's not active. Otherwise, I would stream Togglebit, which would be hilarious for him to come back to you all just hanging out. And then you could. How about this? I'll head back over to Togglebit after I end the stream, and then tell him like I don't know what happened. Like the stream just like disconnected, and then suddenly we're back at your channel, but you're back online. Great. And I'm reminded of like, oh man, the delay on this is like fun. I'm so used to like just asking a question or saying something and then like seeing instantly the response. Now I have to like wait for 30 seconds again. And oh man, it got so nice not having to do that. All right, well, I'm gonna assume that that your lack of chatting is mostly due to you agreeing with me and not like internet having trouble and you can't understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to go ahead and end now. I know that Togglebit's going to be back online, so if you want to continue watching him, I would highly recommend heading back over to his channel. I have some meetings type things to do, so have a great rest of your day, and I will see you online maybe Friday, but definitely Tuesday, unless like something else happens. I don't know. We'll play it by ear. So with that, have a good one, and see you next time. Bye.